So, it's been a minute. Your boy's been busy. Happy St. Patrick's Day, late. But I did want to get on some videos. Apologize for not being able to be here more frequently. But anyway, onward and upward, Excelsior. Let's see what's going on with you, what your current energy is, things that you're currently facing, challenges, whatever the case. We're going to find out. We're going to dig into it. So, here's the current energy of the collective. Or at least the viewers, right? The ones who are watching. Very nice. So we have Lyran's strength, courage, and bravery. To me, this is such a Leo card. It's such a Leo card, but it's funny because Tausitians also showed up, bold, resilient, and sassy. And look at this body language, right? Just close the fuck off. Just like, I ain't hear shit, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. There's something like there could be a resistance in communication here. I don't know. I'm just feeling that, especially with the feminine and masculine energies kind of mirroring each other here. That's immediately what came to mind. Then we have Ouroboros, infinity, eternal past life. So you could be connecting with like a past life connection, like something that's familiar to your soul. You're like, I fucking know that fucker. I knew them in the last time. So, you could be having some past life regression, right? You see she's kind of like in this womb-like scenario too. And Ouroboros, right, the snake eating itself, is a symbol of chaos, kind of being birthed through chaos, So there's definitely this energy of like challenge creating, challenge is helping you to remember. That's really what I'm saying. It's like through certain experiences you get a little bit more familiar. Or it feels a bit more familiar. Let's see. We're gonna dive in. There just seems to be like this like resistance in communication, or like this lack of openness or like guardedness. There's something, right? That body language is closed the fuck off. Both of them are like, nope. It's funny. I always tell people emperors don't cross their arms, right? Because an emperor should be like taking in all the information around them constantly, right? When you cross your arms, it's indicative of the fact that you're no longer taking in information. Like you could be in your head thinking or whatever, but you're not listening. Oh shit, I have some schmutz on my Jimmy Jams. Very nice, whatever. I eat. Sometimes I wear my food. I had a donut earlier. So very, very interesting. So, first cards that I saw were the High Priestess and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This means that you're being intuitively guided to let something go or to drop something, right? To walk away from something, right? This Eight of Cups showing up here. It's like the Eight of Cups represents like each of these cups, right? Cups represent like something you've invested a lot of emotional energy into, right? And this is also like all these cups are like, you know, symbolic of all this time and energy and effort put into something, right? And then having to walk away from it, right? Um, and I feel like, you know, with the high priestess showing up, that's like your ancestors. You know, this is like your spirit guides. This is all of the ethers being like, Molly, you in danger, girl. You know, that's a scene from the movie Ghost. But you know, it's like saying it's time to get out of this situation. With the King of Wands in reverse, um, King of Wands is a liar, or King of Wands in reverse is a liar, right? Because King of Wands in the upright is a very honest communicator, right? Somebody who's very forthright, good leader. But since it's in reverse, it's the opposite, right? Somebody who lacks leadership skills, right? Somebody who thinks micromanaging is being a good manager. Somebody who thinks being bossy is being a good boss, when really it's contrary to that, you know? Your team shows up for you more when you're part of the team, not set apart from it. Um, Also, like, yeah, this guy could be kind of a drama king or girl, whatever. I'm just saying it from the energy I'm seeing. But it looks like this person has problems, right? They are problems. Not simply that they have problems. They are problems. They create problems for you. Um, Very dishonest, very disloyal, very like fucked off. So yeah, I do see the energy of like being intuitively guided to walk away from this. To let it go, right? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles is always holding on to her pentacle, right? The thing she values the most. And this could be something that you value a lot, right? And it's telling you it's still time to let it go. It's time to drop that pentacle. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles. It's saying like Nine of Pentacles is like self-made. This is being able to make it on your own. This is that independent growth and finding out that like you're gonna be a lot more abundant. You're gonna find a lot more blessings when this energy is out of your life. And like with the High Priestess here, you know, I feel like this is also like I feel like you intuitively know this. I feel like you know that they take, you know, and that like they take something from you and you're better off without it. It's, you know, it's kind of like saying the world is your oyster. What are you going to do about that? Right? If you're not feeling in alignment with with life as it is, that's a problem. You know, it's kind of like a conversation I had yesterday or today. I don't time, right? But basically, you know, hold up. Okay, I'm back. So basically, what I was saying is, yeah, I was having this conversation a couple days ago, or oh my god, it was probably today. I don't know. Okay, I'm a pothead, y'all. But anyway, like, you know, I was talking to my friend, and I was like, sometimes the universe has to make you so like uncomfortable with a situation, or it has to be so fucked off that you'll walk away from it, right? Because it's not lining up with like where you're supposed to land. You know, it's just kind of pulling you away from like your purpose or your path or whatever. And this kind of reminds me of that conversation a bit, because it's like, you know, I feel like Ryan Holiday says, you know, the obstacles away. And when you start seeing these obstacles piling up, you kind of got to lean into them a bit. You kind of got to go with it, because those obstacles are going to take you out of this one spot and take you into the next, you know? Something that was more difficult. Like, if you're too comfortable, you'll never leave, right? If things are are good, you're not gonna walk away from it, right? It's like sometimes shit has to get a little fucking whack so that you recognize, hey, this is a situation you're actually being called to walk away from, right? This isn't for you. They're taking from you, and you'll be a lot more abundant. You're gonna notice you're gonna have a lot more happiness, a lot more money, freedom, time, energy, you know, because you're no longer gonna have to deal with this fucked up energy, right? I would even say, like, what I'm feeling is kind of like psychologically manipulative and like maybe even abusive. You discover something. Yeah, we have the moon here. Pisces energy, especially with the high priestess. But what I'm seeing here more than anything is you discover something. Something's coming to light, right? The moon is all about figuring something out. Something that was going on below the surface. With the star in reverse, Aquarius energy. This tells me that like there's no hope in that, right? There's this song by Florence and the Machine. It's called like No Light. She's like singing no light in your bright blue eyes, whatever. She's way better at singing it than me. But yeah, that's what this reminds me of. Like looking, it's almost like somebody taking the sparkle out of your eyes, right? And it's like, and also like not seeing that in them either, right? Like kind of them dragging you down this pit. If you know anything about the story of Alice in Wonderland, this is my Wonderland deck, right? When the walrus shows up, right? You see how this dude's dressed like a chef and everything, right? And he's all fancy and whatever, and you see all these oysters. Well, he's out there and he's like telling all these oysters, he's like, come on, we're gonna have dinner and a show, it's gonna be awesome, there's gonna be entertainment, it will be fantastic. And then they've got the chef there and they're all like, yeah, okay, cool, we're gonna go, right? And it's like it's misleading, right? Because he misleads them, brings them to this thing, and then starts devouring them, right? Literally starts eating the oysters. So it's kind of like feeling like they love bomb you, or like they lure you back in and then just devour you, like on a spiritual level. They energetically kind of like devour you. And they sucker you in, they sucker you in with the love bombing and with the, but then it's like you come back and you're like, oh fuck, Five of Swords in reverse. Don't wanna fight no more. Don't wanna fight no more. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Sorry, I'm in a dancing mood. Probably not concurrent with your messages here, because I'm all like da, 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 da. And it's like a pretty intense reading. Don't mind me, guys, okay? Like, I'm just a messenger. Five of Swords in reverse is like no longer wanting to feel like you have to defend yourself. No longer want to feel like you're at war or like attacked, right? It's kind of like you're gonna have your peace when you walk away from this situation. Six of Wands in reverse. This is feeling like they don't really see you, right? Like they don't really see you, because if they really saw you, if they really were coming from a place of compassion and understanding, they'd be different with you, right? They would be more compassionate and understanding. They wouldn't attack you. And it almost feels like like every time you do something good, rather than being happy for you and proud of you, like it's like a sabotaging kind of energy. It's like they'd rather you get no recognition. They'd rather you feel like not as good as you are, because as soon as you realize how good you are, they don't have power over you, right? That's bottom line where it's at. They don't have power anymore as soon as you realize you're too fucking good for this situation, right? You're too fucking good for that. Like, it is not the other way around. And they will try to play it off the other way around, right? Very narcissistic energy. Um, they don't value you. They value themselves. They value how you make them look, right? But if you get into a relationship because of how you look with them, or whatever, that's it's gonna go down the toilet. Like, it's not about that. It's about how you feel with them, right? And oftentimes the people you feel more deeply for are not gonna be the super, whatever. It's almost like always where, like, you're going to realize that the person that you connect with is a little bit different than the person that you have purely sexual chemistry with, right? Or the person that you want to be seen in public with. It's usually, somebody who's a bit quirky or whatever, according to the quirks that you like. But I feel like superficial things just don't last. Lust doesn't last, right? The thing that lasts are the connections, the staying up talking all night, the, whatever, whatever people do. I don't know. I don't know what people do together, but I'm sure it's awesome. But it's like, I feel like that's what's really lacking here is connection. Like, there's not a real connection there. It's just attraction, and attraction is fleeting. Yeah, Seven of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune tells me, if you choose a new direction, if you choose to walk away from this, you choose, like, to really move in accordance with your intuition here, things are going to turn out in your favor, right? With the Wheel of Fortune, especially with that Nine of Pentacles, showing up. It's like things are, like, working out for your betterment here. Even if it feels like you're losing something, you're not. Right? You're losing problems. That's what you're losing, ultimately. You're losing the thing that hinders you and holds you back. You're not losing out on life. And, like, there's, like, how many billions of people on the planet right now? 89 billion people? Like, who knows, right? Why get fucking twisted over somebody who doesn't value and appreciate you, right? And here's where you gotta really, like, make that assessment within yourself. Like, what are you deserving of? Do you deserve somebody who understands you? Do you deserve somebody who's compassionate with you? Do you deserve somebody who's warm, right? Or do you want that soft, or I'm not soft, but do you want that sharp, cold, like, bitter, callous energy coming at you all the time? Because it's just not sustainable. It could be hot, but it's not sustainable, Like, yeah, sure, everybody's attracted to the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is not going to be like the Queen of Wands, right? Or the Queen of Cups, where, you can feel the warmth and the energy and all that. Queen of Swords is going to be brass. It's going to be abrasive. It's going to be like, like, sharp, dude. And it's like, maybe, you've accepted that for so long, probably because of how your own parents have talked to you in your life and all that. And it's like, but it's kind of unlearning that a bit is going to be really challenging yet important for you. That, like, Yeah, you may have been yelled at your whole life. You may have had parents that, but that's not actually good communication. That's not actually getting anywhere. Um, People who are solid communicators don't actually get to the point of screaming at each other, you know? And I know that's crazy for a lot of people to understand, but if you enter into disagreements trying to understand one another, trying to reach an agreement or at least an understanding, you know, things are going to be way fucking different than if it's just like, well, I ain't trying to be in trouble and I ain't trying to be in trouble and you have a different view. It's like people are going to think different. They're going to have different viewpoints. It's going to be, the Wi-Fi over fucking everything when, like, communication is all about finding that, like, level ground. And I just feel that, like, right now, you're really being called to really think about yourself. Think about your accomplishments. Think about who you are as a person. What's your love language like, right? If somebody's love language doesn't match up with yours, guess what, chicken? But they're not for you. They're not for you. Because your love language would match up if they were, right? If you were really supposed to, like, you would have similar communication styles, or you would have similar humor. You would be able to level on anything, right? You could have deep conversations. Like, there would be deep respect, right? When you really respect somebody, you don't talk down to them, right? I don't give a fuck how mad you are. You do not talk down to them. When you really respect somebody, you might disagree with them. You might be like, well, you're fucking wrong, but you're still rad, or whatever. It's like, but it doesn't ever have to be like personal attacks, Name calling in relationships is actually pretty fucking detrimental, and more than name calling, like constantly bringing up somebody's fault or where they fall short, it's not allowing them to progress and grow as a person. It's like people need to have the leeway to grow into better people, or feel supported in that. you know but it's like, yeah, I feel deeply that, like, you need to assess your own love language and you need to find people who are on par with that, people who love like you love, because what you're experiencing is not love, all right? Could be obsession, could be infatuation, could be a lot of things, but it's not love. Love doesn't hurt. Okay, and I know that's mind-boggling. Everyone thinks it does. No, love actually does not hurt. Love heals. It hurts the lack of love. Some motherfuckers will literally not like anything about you and still stay with you because you make them look good. And that's fucked up. It's fucked up. If somebody doesn't like anything about you, why would you even want to be with somebody like that? And your relationships are physical manifestations of your internal relationship, right? So if you find people who, like, can't love you, right? Who genuinely just can't seem to treat you like they love you, that means it's time to go on the inside, right? Do you love you? If you love you, you wouldn't tolerate that. If you love you, you would be on your shit, you'd be focusing on your hustle, you'd be focusing on your passions, you would be centering your life around things that make you feel invigorated and alive, right? People who don't love themselves, right, find other people, they attract other people who also don't love them, right? Energy attracts like energy. So that's why it's always better to be single until you genuinely love yourself, right? Not because you don't deserve love when, you don't love yourself, but because you're not attracting love when you don't love yourself, It's because you're attracting people who don't love you. When you struggle to communicate with yourself, then you find somebody who struggles to communicate with you, right? And it's just, and that's where the problems lie. And that's why when you heal the inside world, the outside world starts making a bit more sense. Really ask yourself, are you the kind of person that you would want to be with? I've really had to look at that myself, from for many times, okay? But like, and when you really think about what you want in a person, if you're not living up to that, you're not going to attract that, right? So you have to live in the energy of the thing you want to attract, right? That's how manifestation works. That's the law of attraction and all that shit. It's like it all stems from that. We have the Death card in reverse, Scorpio energy. If you are a Scorpio, this means that you're lacking in balance or not really feeling connected to your true nature, your true self, right? Also, if you're not a Scorpio or don't have Scorpio placements, this could mean that this is time for your rebirth, right? It's time to come back from that dead feeling. With the Six of Swords, I see like the energy of walking away from something, right? Especially with the Eight of Cups, Six of Swords comes hand in hand, that there is definitely somebody leaving, right? And feeling guarded. These flamingos represent swords, right? And so this is that energy that like you're very guarded as you walk away from this, right? Very vigilant. With the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords in reverse, it looks like this person could be very wealthy, or they could be an earth sign of some sort, or air, whatever. But what I see here is they're going to try to hold on, right? They don't want to get cut off with the King of Swords in reverse and the King of Pentacles, right? Holding on, not wanting to get cut off. And it's like they're going to try to keep you from going. So it's going to require a lot of willpower and a lot of just, I'm really fucking done kind of energy, And, I recommend have like a bag ready, because when I was in a relationship where I felt that I needed to get out pretty quickly, and I knew it was going to be a struggle, one of the best things I ever did for myself was pack a fucking bag, right? Just, it might just be one backpack. Put your most important shit and be prepared to lose the rest of the shit, right? Be prepared to lose it, because like some people you can't just come back and get your shit from, or if you do, they will use that to manipulate you and try to weasel you back in. You have to be so sure that you're not going back that you don't give yourself an excuse to go back, That's how you really cut off the past. You have to have a game plan. I would never suggest walking out of something like this without a game plan, right? Without knowing, one, where can you go, right? Talk to people, figure that out. Where can you go if you get into a big fight and you need to leave? Where can you go, right? Do you have a bag ready? Do you have the most important stuff, right? If you have kids, have an extra bag ready for them, right? Everyone's got a bag. But make sure, focus on the game plan. Don't focus on The emotional shit, right? Here's where I'm telling you it's time to step into Queen of Swords energy a little bit, where it's like, it's time for you to like, to be ready to cut it off, right? It's gonna feel like spiritual warfare walking out of this. That's what it hella feels like. But everything's gonna work out just fine. It's just saying, like, that initial leap is gonna be a big fucking leap, and it's gonna be hard. You've survived worse, though. That's what I'm hearing. You've survived worse. With the Ten of Wands, this is a huge burden, right? How is it gonna keep going carrying all these pepper grinders? How? He ain't, right? It's like it's gonna weigh him down. He's gonna get tired. He's gonna collapse. And he has to go everywhere, right? He has to go according to his path. And so this is the energy of it's time to drop the burden. It's time to drop the thing that weighs you down. The thing that's like emotionally straining you, right? A big part of becoming free from this person is to stop talking to them. Stop talking about them. Stop entertaining their energy, right? Because the more you talk about them, the more you manifest them, right? What you focus on, speak of the devil and the devil will arrive, right? So it's kind of like getting into the energy of like, yeah, that sucked. Yeah, it's a thing to get out of. But right now, is not a good time to sit there and talk about it. Maybe later, once you're already out of this and situated or whatever, you can talk out, But right now, I feel that there could be like negative manifestations if you focus on their energy, if you give them too much of your brain power, right? Because energy is a big one. You don't want to think about them too much, because then it just keeps the perpetual motion of this wheel going. You don't want to talk about them too much. You don't want to focus on them. As soon as you start thinking about them, you want to like cut it off. Think Queen of Swords. Because like that's the only way that you're really gonna energetically become liberated from them. It's like being under a spell, dog. Three of Pentacles. Somebody's gonna help you. Could be a few people helping you. But people are going to help you get out of this situation. You have a support system. You have people who love you. People who are willing to take you in or whatever. Three of Wands in reverse. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop waiting for worse things to happen. Right? It's time to just get to the point where it's already the worst. It's already bad. You don't want to see what worse looks like. Okay, and this is kind of like, I feel like there's like a spiritual warning in this, Because especially with the High Priestess showing that you're intuitively guided to get out of this, you don't want to know what worse looks like. It's better to get out of this now, right? Or like as soon as possible. Get your game plan. Four of Wands in reverse, you might have to move, right? Four of Wands is also like a long-term commitment card. You might have to break up with somebody that you've been with for years, or you've established a home with, yeah, it's gonna be hard. Okay, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. It will be worth it though, right? At the end of the day, it's like, you should watch that poem by Charles Bukowski on YouTube. It's called Go All the Way. If you want to do it, you'll do it. Doesn't matter what you have to face. Doesn't matter, you don't want a person, if you do have kids, you don't want this person to be a role model in your child's life. Right? You don't want your child to build their love language around somebody like this. Because then they will be facing the same kind of generational like curse of relationships, So I think, it's kind of like saying the curse ends with you, It ends here. It stops here. You're not going to allow it to continue into worse. You don't want to know what worse looks like. Damn, this one got heavy, dog. This is a heavy ass reading. Sribala. Commit entirely and without hesitation to your most passionate inspirations. There are genius and wisdom in what you yearn to do. You have a greater capacity to attain fruition than those around you may recognize. Believe in yourself, even if no one else does. It is not imagination that drives you toward your destiny, but the instinctive recognition of your true purpose. Kundalini Shakti. Significant inner shifts are taking place. Energies are beginning to move in new ways. You may feel that resolution is hard to pin down at this time, but lean into unfamiliar territory with boldness tempered by patience. You will become capable of many things on many levels that you were not capable of accomplishing previously. Shall arise, a fresh path is signified. And that is what I have for you. Namaste. I love you guys, and I'll catch you later.